didn't even see you do that. Oh yeah, wrong show. Still works though. Just don't say
I can
anything.
do a whole show with that on.
Well, gentlemen, we made it. Obi-Wan Kenobi has came and went. It was an emotional roller coaster from start to finish.
For some more than others.
Some more than others. At the end of that episode, I was definitely thinking to myself, they did it. The crazy son of a bitches did it. They pulled it off.
They really did. They did pull it together quite well.
They waited till last second, though.
In true Disney fashion.
Not necessarily. You were kind of okay with 5. So, I mean...
Okay, but 2 out of the 6 episodes, are good? Come on.
No. I don't even know where to start. I mean, we can, start from the beginning, but I mean, there were so many things in that episode that were, I want to sound corny, but beautiful, like so goddamn beautiful. Like just little details that they did that I was so impressed with. Like, I think I cried 2 times in that episode. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll cry again when I watch it again.
I don't think I cried at any of the episodes, but I definitely, got that feeling. You're just like, oh, like it just hits you in the right spot.
I want to talk about the fight scene yet. We'll get there.
It started out slow, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like a little annoyed with like the first 5-10 minutes of the show. I'm like, here we go again, building up this pointless drama with Leia, and oh my gosh, he's having a temper tantrum because he's gonna leave the ship. I'm like, where are we going with the vision of this show? Literally, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say the first 10 minutes were miserable to me. I was like dreading it. I'm like, okay, I'm about to fast forward it.
Right. I guess the thing that I didn't quite understand in the beginning of the episode, or maybe there's a detail that I'm missing, but like why Rebel was after Luke, like what was the point?
I guess she put 2 and 2 together and realized Luke was Anakin's, and she straight up was going to get revenge and kill his son. Granted,
she couldn't get Vader, so she wanted to get Luke.
Yeah, just to kill the bloodline, I guess.
But I don't know. I still have a hard time thinking that she could put all of that together from just that hologram message. Like,
why?
That's fucking Bruce Wayne detective work right there.
I don't think she really cared about Kenobi really at all. Like, she was literally just using him to bait Vader. And once, because didn't she get? I know the message was choppy. But didn't she get from Bale or from the message that's saying if he figured out the kids found out about the children, or did she not get that much?
Maybe I would have to go back and rewatch episode 5. I could barely make anything out of that message to where to justify to go to Tatooine, find a farmer on this planet named Owen, which we discussed last week how
she knew him,
Owen, but I mean even she went into that cantina, I'm looking for a farmer named Owen,
right? And Owen introduced himself to every single person in that town.
And I mean ironically enough, that dude from that cantina did know who she was talking about.
There's probably only so many moisture farmers.
We got nothing else to do.
Well, yeah, but still, you're only going to get so many per town.
Fair enough. So, what was the main reason that Vader let Rebel live?
I guess kind of in the way that, well, I guess one, he thought she was going to die, which is impressive. She ran through 2 times and still ended up surviving. But
I think they left some plot holes with her character. I think they it's definitely some things about her that hopefully get better. You know, obviously they have long-term plans for her, and I don't want to like wish her ill will and say that she's going to crash and burn as a character in the franchise, but hopefully my stuff's lagging out here. Hopefully they build on her character. You know, there's potential. I think some different writers maybe can do her justice.
Right.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's just like the Grand Inquisitor said, it's amazing what the need for revenge can do to a wound or something.
Yeah.
Because that was like the whole reason he didn't die. Well, that, and I guess he got run through one of his 2 stomachs. But I guess maybe that's why she didn't die either time. She was strong enough in the Force that her need for vengeance kept her alive. I mean, hell, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That motherfucker wouldn't die.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't have Maul in this show.
Second season.
I bet they'll have him in the 2nd season.
Okay. But since we're talking about the 2nd season, if Kathleen Kennedy has come out and said if the fans want it, they will do it.
I think most fans want it.
As fans, you guys, as fans of the show, do you want a 2nd season?
First 4 episodes? No.
Yeah.
I did not want a 2nd season. I thought there is 0 potential for its 2nd season. There's 0 point for a 2nd season. I see with this writing and the storytelling, I saw nothing that interested me in a 2nd season. Now, the last 30 seconds of this season made me want a 2nd season. Seeing Qui-Gon and seeing the potential of like, okay, they realize what they have here. Finally, they realize what they can do with this show. Yes, I want to see its 2nd season. I feel like I saw just the peak of what this, not the peak, I just saw like the potential of what this show could be. So yes, 2nd season is wanted in my opinion.
Right. So where Qui-Gon was, or not Qui-Gon, where Kenobi was at the end of this show is where we were all thinking he would have been at the start of this show.
Yeah.
Basically. So
I agree with Dallas. I'd like to see a 2nd season, but I don't want it to be the Mandalorian formula and what Kenobi season 1 was. We don't need a little kid involved.
No, yeah.
Fuck Luke, fuck Leia.
Let them grow up, let them live their lives, stay out of their lives, and let's do other stories.
We have 9 years or 8 years worth of Kenobi stories between now and A New Hope. He could go off, get some training from Qui-Gon, maybe meet up with Quinlan Vos, because they hinted at him way too much for him not to be a part.
Definitely, I think they have plans for him in the 2nd season.
And the fact that he went to the dark side, came back to the light side, he fell in love with Asajj Ventress, and then like temporarily she went back to the good side from being the good side and the dark side. Like, there's so much they can do. Granted, I know in this timeline, if we're going canon, she's dead because she died in Clone Wars. I think Dooku finally killed her in Clone Wars. I think, but regardless,
Ventress.
Yeah, she died in Clone Wars, didn't she?
I know in the last season when she was running around with Ahsoka, I know she bailed Ahsoka out. It was like halfway through the last season.
Okay, so maybe she didn't die.
I'm not sure.
But regardless, like, it would be cool, one, to have her live action. I think would be badass, and I know the perfect actress for that. If you've ever watched The Walking Dead, she was the leader of the trash people. Like, I think her name was like Janice or something. I can't remember what the actress's actual name is, but she's like,
I'll have to look it up.
A 6'2" athletic build. She has her head shaved in Walking Dead. Like, I just think she'd be a good Ventress. But it'd be cool to see her with Quinlan Vos saving lost Force users and shit. And just see more of the rebellion before it was the rebellion.
Yeah.
They could dive into Jabba the Hutt. They could do a young Boba Fett. They could show Yoda on Dagobah. They could show Obi-Wan finding more Jedi that are still alive. I mean, there's so much potential
Agreed.
for a second season, and you could get away from all these people that are worried about you messing with canon. You could go do storylines that haven't been told yet, and you could steer clear with canon or potential canon busters. You know, just you could stay away from that.
Yeah, and you could get Logan, Daniel Logan. He was Boba Fett in the Clone Wars. He's old enough now. I think he would be a good young adult 20s Boba Fett. I think it would be really cool to see him. Maybe even see, what's her name? I guess she's probably dead right now, but Aura Singh or whatever.
Oh,
'Cause didn't she take him under her tutelage for a little while?
yeah.
Along with Bosk.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be cool to see them all team up, do bounty hunter shit.
Little bounty hunter brigade.
We're gonna get our Darth Maul in the second season.
Maybe even a little bit of the Crimson Dawn would be cool.
Yeah, it's a whole other deal. They're ever going to do anything with that or not. I thought for sure they were coming in Book of Boba, but
Might be Book of Boba season 2.
Mm.
Amelia Clarke has been on in Star Wars lately, so she did play whatever her name is. I don't even remember her name, but she's in charge of them now.
what about kind of continuing on throughout the episode? If you go back and you watch the prequels and you kind of look at Owen in the prequels, it's kind of cheerful, not kind of happy, and then you got the transformation of Owen to being like a
beaten
father,
old man.
like a grumpy old man. Like those, Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, the people that played them from the prequels and then doing it in this show. I really like how their characters shine in this last episode too.
I agree.
Owen kind of raised one of the most important Jedi of all time with Luke, and seeing the actor who played Owen in this show do that character justice again was fitting. I thought the whole little home burglar scene with Reva, I thought it was pretty cool.
And Beru, she's a badass too.
Yeah, Beru can throw hands.
Yeah, they went into.
Well, that whole fucking ordeal was her idea.
That's true. Like Owen, I don't think wanted to do it. I think he's more pacifist. But Beru's like, nope, fuck this bitch. We're gonna shoot her.
They did a good job with that. I read that episode 2 book, and in episode 2, they cover in detail when Shmi was kidnapped by the Raiders. Like they lead like this whole party to go after her, of like all these moisture farmers to go after them on speeder bikes. Like, and they're pretty ruthless in that. So like it just kind of like carries over to this. Like they're not afraid to protect. It was just kind of cool to see.
Right.
And that was Shmi or Smee or whatever, however you say her name. She's Owen's sister.
No, Shmi was Anakin's mom.
Well, no, I know she's Anakin's mom, but isn't
So Owen would have been her son or her stepson.
Okay, she was okay.
Because essentially she had married his father, and his father was alive for quite a while. Like he actually lost 1 or 2 legs in that whole speeder chase after those Raiders. Like he got hit by like a tripwire, and it like just straight up cut his legs off, and he was one of the few people that actually survived that, him and Owen.
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay. Stepmom, got it. I wasn't sure what their relationship was.
What are you doing, step bro?
I wanted to say it. I kept my mouth shut. I'm glad you said it though.
Shit.
Part 6 of Kenobi kind of kept with the Skywalker saga formula with the Return of the Jedi.
Oh, you called it 100%.
With Ben going to face Vader alone so everybody can escape type of thing.
And then Reva turning good.
So yeah, they followed the Skywalker saga, I guess, plot loosely.
I wonder if they do it on purpose, or like if they're aware of what they're doing.
George Lucas always talked about poetry and mirroring and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's an ode to him or maybe they were just lazy writing.
They did a good job with the Star Destroyer, making it feel like
the beginning of New Hope.
Yeah, where the Star Destroyer is just like, it just doesn't even feel like it's moving through space. You know, it's just there shooting at stuff, and the other ship's like trying hard as hell to avoid it.
Yeah, juking left and right and shit.
Yeah.
So why? I guess one tiny thing that I had an issue with. Why, when Kenobi went off, did they just like, they didn't send any TIE fighters after the rebels? They're just like, fuck it, we're just going after Kenobi. Like, why would you not like split?
The only thing I could think is that ship couldn't go faster than a TIE fighter. You know, just kind of like in
no, TIE fighters are like one of the fastest ships.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So think about it like this. So what was the second Star Wars movie? The recent trilogy. Which one was that?
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. So think about that situation. How they basically just stayed out of range far enough where they couldn't jump back into to hyperspace. You know what I'm talking about? Where they just stayed basically far enough away. Well, they weren't using ships to attack them there either. I don't know. There was definitely some weird things, especially when that drop ship. It just like they opened up a hatch and the ship just fell out. Like that was kind of corny. Like you're telling me there's no like airlock. All these people just, you know, I don't know.
There probably was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like we could nitpick so many little things about this show. I definitely could.
Well, I would say we basically did in episode or like our episodes, you know, 1 and 2 through fucking 5. But with all of that, now after the little fight scene, you get to
the best 5 minutes of your life.
The rematch of the century.
I gotta ask a question. Was it the best live action? Was it the best 5 minutes of any live action Star Wars you've ever watched?
It was the saddest.
But overall, that whole moment. I mean, can you think of another live action Star Wars moment that just made you feel the way that made you feel? Recently, in the past 5-10 years?
Okay. No.
For the first time, watching something live for the first time like that?
No. This rivals episode 3, Mustafar, for sure. Duel of Fates, whatever you want to call it.
What else get you close to that? What else?
Watching Ahsoka and Maul go at
it. He said live action.
Oh, okay,
live action. Not animation.
Okay, well.
Fuck you guys.
No, I mean it was very beautifully done. It was a chef's kiss, if you want to say. There's so many things about it that they did.
So many.
Like just minimal details that were just so perfect about it. Like, I mean, like the flashback that they did in either the previous episode or the episode before that, episode 4, where it showed, you know, Kenobi and Anakin training.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, that tied in so perfectly with this fight to where how, you know, Anakin is always so aggressive with his fighting style, and, you know, Kenobi always wants to use mercy to, you know, defeat his opponents type of thing. Like all of that whole flashback scene played into, you know, this. It just set it up perfectly.
Well, that and also the dialogue. Both times, Obi-Wan, I will do what I must.
That is beautiful.
Originally, it was you will try, and then this time it's you will die.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. I was really hoping though, when Vader did the whole earthquake, opened up the ground, that he was going to say, "I have the high ground now," but fucking didn't.
When he was buried, like I finally felt purpose for having Leia being such a big part and having like seen all that, because that's what gave him clarity and gave him peace to be one with the Force again. We thought we needed a 6-month time frame for him to regain himself. All we needed was that little bit of time for him to regain and be in one with the Force again when he was under all that rock. All those little flashback scenes of like him seeing Leia in his head and him seeing just a little bit of Luke, like that's what he needed. That's what got him back to the Force and being one with the Force again. Like, think about how he struggled when Leia, I think it was the first or second episode, when Leia was falling from that building, how much he struggled just to even stop her from falling and hitting the ground.
Yeah.
And then this episode, we see him pick up tons and tons of rocks. I mean, just an absorbent amount of weight and just all at once, you know, it was just beautiful.
And to build on top of that, to go and play the audio clips of, like, you have audio clips of Anakin from, you know, them fighting on Mustafar, and then you have clips of him and Vader going at it, like in, you know, this season, like they have like the low point kind of playing, and then it like a switch flips, and then it goes into the Luke and the Leia thing. And it was like, you know, the music changes, and then all of a sudden I have goosebumps on my arm, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that
you
was
when
so much.
When Vader buried him under those rocks, I honestly didn't know what to think. I know Kenobi's not dead, obviously, but it's like, what the fuck? And then, you know, it kind of pans in, and then, you know, he's sitting there holding the rocks up, and it's like, fuck.
For a minute, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that's how this season was going to end. When they said there was a second season, I thought, oh, here we go. We get to see Obi-Wan be beaten down again, and we're not going to see Obi-Wan at his peak till next season. I'm not going to lie, I went there. That's where my whole mind thought. I thought Vader's going to leave, and that's how he's going to survive, and we're going to get a second season.
Yeah, when they showed that clip of Vader, it's like straight on with Vader, and like you can kind of see behind Vader. I'm like, oh god, he's coming up behind him. I know it now. And then that scene kicked in with Kenobi. Like,
I don't see how Vader didn't like. As powerful as he is, how do you not fucking sense a dude force throwing 200 tons of fucking earth? Like, how do you not feel that, or at least hear it?
I feel like Vader's not as strong as we think he is, or
he ripped apart a ship and stopped it from leaving.
Okay, I get it with the Force, but I'm talking like physically, he's still. I was watching some videos on him. Like, technically, he's physically limited. You know, he's not physical as Anakin anymore. Like, he can't technically even raise his arms above his head.
Fair enough.
So I feel like he's got a lot of limitations that we don't realize sometimes, and I feel like they've shown a lot of those.
Well, yeah, Kenobi definitely exposed one of his biggest weaknesses too with that breathing box.
Does he have any appendages? Are they all robotic?
I think it's all robotic. Like at his kneecaps and then at his elbows.
Yeah, knees and elbows are gone, right? Or anything below that are gone?
Man bits got burned?
I was just going to say, you're going to go there. But
do I think his what got burned?
Got burned?
Yeah, he seemed like he was on fire, like real bad. I'm sure he has no appendages left.
When you read a lot of these books, which I have been, they talk about like how he can't keep himself alive. He can either use the Force to keep himself alive and breathe, or he uses the machine that breathes for him, and then he can use the Force. He can't do both. And I thought they did a good job of that. Like, I don't feel like he was tore up to where he couldn't fight, but the machine couldn't breathe for him anymore, so he had to focus all his Force powers on breathing to stay alive. So that's why he was done fighting, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and the voice went back and forth.
Oh my god, was that not beautiful?
That was one of the things. And to me, for not having, you know, we had a little bit of a flashback with Hayden, and then, you know, where he was standing out on the cliff, whatever. But having him in the suit with his face showing, with the audio splitting between Vader and Anakin, and then like you could finally see his face too, and like getting all of that.
Go on.
Perfect. Absolutely fucking perfect. Some of the best acting I've ever seen Hayden Christensen do.
Agreed. And
that little tiny section was perfect.
If you rewatch it, when it's Anakin, there's more of a blue shade, and then when it's Vader,
his eyes don't look the Sith either. Like,
yeah, and then when he's talking as Vader, it's red, and his eyes are.
That's another one of those tiny little details.
Tiny details.
Perfect.
my favorite part. I've rewatched him like 4 or 5 times now. When he says, "You didn't kill Anakin, I did." You see like this little smile almost like come up in his lip when he basically is saying, "I'm the one who killed him." Like you see that like evil, like almost like shit-eating grin, like I'm the one who did it. Like
it almost makes
weird.
It almost makes you think, like, you know, how big of an asshole Vader is on like the ship when he's like walking around all grumpy and whatever. But it's like, you know, if you ever like, you know, after he force chokes somebody and then like kind of walks away, you think he's like smiling under that mask, like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like how much emotion is he truly showing under that mask?
Oh, smile for days.
Anakin's still there, and as much as he'd like, Anakin's still part of him, and I think Anakin is the one that made sure that freed Obi-Wan. In that, Anakin came out and freed him, said what he needed to say. Obi-Wan needed to hear, essentially, to free him from that guilt and free him from everything that's been holding him back. Like him basically is saying that you're not the one that did this, I'm the one that did that. It gave Obi-Wan everything he needed to just let go and like to not worry anymore, not stress. Like actually, I don't know. I don't.
Do you think that's why Obi-Wan didn't finish off Vader? Because he was like, my problem wasn't Vader, my problem was Anakin.
Outside ruining stories, I was going to ask you guys that. That's the same question I had. Is why do you think that he didn't finish Vader there?
I think because he was resolved of his issues. Like once Anakin said,
"Hey Matt,
love you, man.
What's up, buddy?" Once he said, "You didn't hurt Anakin or kill Anakin, I did." I guess Obi-Wan felt it was no longer his burden.
So
that's why he called him Darth too when he was done. Why he didn't finish him off?
Darth.
I got the only theory I could think of, if we're just, you know,
would have been some more guilt on top of Kenobi, maybe?
Not more guilt. I think he realizes that Palpatine's the real threat, and if he killed Vader, Palpatine's only going to replace him with somebody else, you know, and he knows that at his current time he can best Vader. So why not Vader be the scariest guy out there instead of somebody new that he doesn't know, you know? I don't know. That's just how I saw it.
Fair enough.
And Remy, you got your Ian McDermott come back as Palpatine. You
Yeah.
happy about that?
I am. I mean, we kind of knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it popped in my head when he was like, your thoughts, like dwelling or whatever. It made me think of that meme when it's episode 1. He's like, "Do your thoughts dwell on your mother?" And then I really wanted Vader to be like, "My thoughts dwell on your mother." I don't know why, but it just popped in my head. I was like, yeah.
Recently, Ian McDermott was at a Comic-Con, and they asked him, like, "Are you going to be in this?" And his verbatim was, "You will not see me in flesh and bone. You see a hologram."
Dead
So hey,
awesome.
he didn't lie.
Well, did you see the interviews with
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, he was sure, like,
I have a story today.
He goes, "Okay, yeah, that was you that posted that."
He looks up. He's like,
"They never called me."
Nope. He has to like think of a way to answer it.
Yeah. God, it was good seeing him.
I think the first part that got me to cry was when Kenobi was like, when he said, "I'm sorry, Anakin." I think that was like,
dude, the emotion on his face was so. It was like some of the best acting I've ever seen. Like, just it didn't even feel like acting. It just felt like I was watching someone like learn that their dog just died. You know, like the emotion was so beautiful, like on his face. He did it so well.
I don't know if it is acting at this point.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he pulled something like traumatic from his own life experiences that got that reaction from him. Like that, he definitely thought of something that hurt him somewhere in his life.
I mean, he could have actually. I agree with you, but he could have been thinking literally about episode 3. Like, in my opinion, the Mustafar battle is the greatest acting that Ewan McGregor's ever done up to this point. And obviously, this final battle at Kenobi episode 6, that was Hayden's best acting.
That's why I say that, you know, this fight was, I don't want to say it was one of the most epic fights, but it wasn't
as long as I thought it would be.
It was the most emotional fight we've seen in Star Wars.
It's a perfect
Live
way to
action.
put it.
It wasn't. I thought we were gonna get to some 30-minute fight, and I'm okay with what we got. I'm not complaining. I
don't need a big battle. I don't need a battle as big as Mustafar.
Well,
Like-
that's what I thought about. They're not the same people that fought for 3 hours on Mustafar. They don't have those
Mhm.
same stamina, the same skills. They're not both at their like highest of their peaks anymore.
True, and Kenobi did he did
He did a
Saber-
similar for you.
yeah, third pose or whatever it's called. Soros.
What the hell is it called? Form 3, I think.
Form 3. Yeah, it was Form 3.
Yeah.
I think it's like Soros or Ceros, but
And
yeah, he
every single time he's done that,
fucking loved it.
that pose, he's always fucked up the guy.
Always.
Every time.
And I've never seen anybody use the lightsaber the way he did, like with the butt of the saber and just pop, pop, pop.
That was dirty when he was doing that on his breathing apparatus.
Oh,
when
that
he
was
turned
awesome.
that saber around and he was smacking his chest with it. I'm like, that's a little dirty fight in Kenobi. Hell yeah.
Do you guys think the sabers they did like the way the sabers work in Kenobi is a lot different than you see in anything else? Like they don't
The stormtroopers, like they didn't go through them. It just
Yeah,
like
they
kinda,
seem not to do that much damage as much. Like even when he hits Vader's helmet, like the way it sparks like an explosion instead of just cutting through it. It was just
Right.
kind of weird, the effects, but overall I loved
as far
it.
as the helmet goes, I love how they did the right side, and then was it Rebels that
Yeah,
I haven't
left
watched
side
Rebels
with Ahsoka,
like
it
that
was
was the left side. So I thought that was cool.
And the
This
only
is the
one,
that he got his scar from, right?
yes,
Kenobi's.
yeah, and at the end of Jedi,
Luke
Luke.
takes off the full helmet.
Luke was the one to bring them together to be able to turn him back to good. Because alone, Ahsoka couldn't do it, and Kenobi couldn't do it, but Luke was able to
They
Yeah.
turn Vader back to
Yeah.
Anakin.
Actually,
think
exactly.
about,
Yeah.
think about that line in the first Star Wars
Boom,
movie
parallel.
where
Oh, shit.
Kenobi tells Luke Vader's the one that killed Anakin.
It makes
You know,
sense
it's
now.
like- it's just so beautiful now when you think about it.
But I think I don't think, obviously, because Lucas had nothing to do with this, I think Disney handpicked that line being like,
For sure.
well, he did say Vader killed your father.
I know, but it just
But it
works. Like
does.
things like
It
that
does.
that work out.
It's
are
beautiful. Completely agree.
So, post fight, we get Reva chasing Luke through the Dune Sea.
Hmm.
I think
Becomes Reva Skywalker.
Reva Skywalker. And
I hope she gets better writers.
that was I knew she wasn't going to kill Luke, obviously, but the whole time I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what is your personal vendetta against this kid? And I know we've already talked about this at the beginning of this episode, but at the time I was watching it and I didn't quite get it. But somebody had said that since Luke didn't see her draw her saber out at the home, that Luke has still never seen a lightsaber then up to this point, keeping that continuity still intact.
Correct. And he was knocked unconscious.
Yeah. So then after that, Owen finally lets Kenobi meet Luke, which I think was the second time that I cried in this episode.
Oh, yeah. He said hello there
Yes.
in his raspy Allen Guinness voice.
And then right after that, right into Qui-Gon, and I'm like, I can't take all this. This is too much happening at once right now.
Question about your opinion, both of you, the continuity wise. In A New Hope, does Luke know who Ben? Like, he just knows the legend of Ben,
Old man Ben.
and
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but he doesn't. He acts
doesn't
like
know
he
he's
never
Kenobi.
met him before. He never knew
Maybe
him.
like a pass by is kind of the vibe I always got. Just knew
Okay.
Remember everyone you met when you were 10 years old?
Probably does.
I mean, I wouldn't
many
say
times your parents
yes.
been like, hey, you met this guy when you were a kid, and you're like, oh yeah.
Fair enough, but I mean, I would think you'd remember a guy that talks the way he
Moisture
does.
farmer, like an old, like raggedy old man. You're just gonna do. You saw one time, just walk up to you.
Yeah, but he gave him the sky hopper, and then like he's literally playing with it, the same fucking toy, 8 years later. Like, I don't know. Seems like it's one of his favorite toys. You think he'd
His
remember
neighbor.
the fucker that gave it to him?
Nice neighbor. Old man Ben.
Oh, you're
Crazy
that one
old
that gave
guy
me that
that's always
toy I
at
still play
canteen.
with
That's true.
at 18.
How do you
Yeah.
think he introduced himself? Did you think he introduced himself as Ben or Obi or
Ben.
Obi-Wan?
It has to be Ben.
He might not have said Kenobi at all. I don't know. Just
I'm standing by
as
my
far as continuity goes, I'm just wondering if you guys think how he introduced himself. But he packed up his cave at the end of the episode. Like they're definitely, I think, making it up to where he's gonna go off planet for season 2 and do some crazy shit.
Well, I mean, he's not going to live by Luke anymore. I mean, you're going to let the Force basically take care of Luke and let Luke come to him pretty much.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to watch over him anymore. And that was one of those things that basically him being at peace with himself and then like
True.
to basically get him in touch with the Force to where he can see Qui-Gon finally. And
Man.
when Kenobi asked him, like, where have you been? Like, I've been here all along. You just weren't ready yet.
Yeah, I love that. That was perfect.
I'm still hoping for a live action Kenobi and Maul. I know we talked about it last time and how unless Filoni handles it, it shouldn't be done at all. And I agree with you. But
You don't think Filoni had something to say, him and Favreau, on this last scene where like they're like it cuts the helmet and everything? I guarantee you, Favreau and Filoni were all hands on deck for that.
They took that from Filoni because he did it first.
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
They called him up and they were like, "Hey man, show's kind of struggling a bit. We just can't really seem to get the story figured out. You got any ideas for like the final battle? Maybe something to just really sell it."
Give him
I
the
didn't see
Anakin
his-
Vader voice.
I didn't see him I didn't see his name on any of the credits.
Bro, it was just a phone call, and he gave he probably didn't care about the credits.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I mean, would you guys like to see a live action him and Maul, like that same scene just done in live action, or do you want to leave
hell
it as
yeah.
Rebels?
I'd love to see it.
I know Scully might.
I would rather see Maul solo series. I've seen enough Maul Kenobi. I've watched Kenobi beat the shit out of Maul fucking 2-3 times now. I mean, Maul is just one of those characters to me that just gets his ass kicked with everything he does.
He's what is it? Sisyphus or whatever, the dude doomed to roll the boulder up the hill
No,
just to have it roll back down. Greek mythology. Sorry,
I get it, but I mean,
but yeah, that's his character.
you
He's
watch
doomed to
him
lose.
struggle in Clone Wars and then Rebels. And it's just like, how many times do I have to watch this guy get his ass kicked? Like, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
A lot, and it's always entertaining.
But I mean, that's also the thing that always drives that character is fucking
Pure
revenge and
hatred.
hate. Dude is
Which
straight up pure Sith. And then he hates
he's like this era's version of is it Darth Bane? That
Yeah.
just his hate is what keeps him alive, even though he's dead. Just insane to me.
But don't get me wrong, I would never say no to a new live action fight between Kenobi and Maul again.
I liked the way Maul looked in just the hologram on the Solo series, because that'd be the same time frame as this. I thought he had a different look to him, almost like a meaner, more like weathered look.
It looked more weathered and just
Different.
Yeah,
it just looked different. He just looked good. I just like the way he looked.
yeah, agreed. It would be cool to see him in a live action though. Again, I would like him
waiting on that phone call.
Well, I'm fine with it being Ray Park physically, but for the voice, I want Sam Rainer.
That's the
Or
dude
Wither.
in Clone Wars, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I want that guy to
Oh,
do
fuck.
the voice.
How many
He was
lines
also
did
Star
Ray
Killer.
have in episode 1? 2, 3?
I think like 12 words total. Kind of like,
Yeah, so I mean,
like
Episode
Terminator
one,
type
oh.
shit.
Can't even think of a single word he said in episode 1.
it
He's
was
talking to Sidious.
yeah on the
That's
hologram,
true.
wasn't it?
Yeah, he's in the dune or whatever with binoculars, and then
There's a picture
turns
out there
around.
that's like Darth Maul didn't even know who Anakin was. He just thought he was some random boy, yet he still tried to run him over in the desert with his speeder bike.
I mean, why not?
Savage.
That's one of my favorite memes. Is it shows the video clip of Maul going over and actually hits Anakin, and then it just cuts. Written and directed by George Lucas.
Yeah.
All done.
just a fine red mist.
Parquet had 15 career lines throughout all of his movies.
Damn.
Who else did he play? Did he play Snake Eyes?
He played Toad, I think, in the X-Men movies.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. That was kind of a weird character.
Well, in the first X-Men movie.
Remy, are you a big X-Men fan?
Yes, I am.
That's the only reason I asked.
You don't say.
So, if we get a second season, would you rather them cover Headless Horseman? Would you rather them cover characters and stories we possibly already know of, like Yoda on Dagobah, or would you rather them go farther out and maybe give us like Mace Windu,
Has anybody read the Journals of Kenobi?
the actual book?
Yeah. Well,
I've
I think it's a
got
comic
it.
series, isn't it?
Huh?
I'm talking about the comic series. It
Oh.
might be a book, but the comic series was he was wearing the get-up at the end of the part 6 here. He was wearing the same outfit that he has on the cover of issue 1.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
talking about the Journal of Kenobi, and I think that takes up after this part right here. And I've never read it, so I don't know what it's about, but I would almost wonder if that's where they would take season 2.
I'll have to look for it on the Marvel app.
Honestly, for me, to answer your question, D, I'm over Skywalker saga. Like, I don't care. Like, yes, I love these characters. They're near and dear to all of our hearts. But just fucking move on.
They've told us time and time again they're done with the Skywalker saga. Like, they're not doing it
Yeah.
anymore. But yet
They realize all the money they're getting.
maybe, because I mean, when Ahsoka comes out, unless that's geared more towards the Rebel area, which I would hope. But
It's got to, I think. I mean, it's already confirmed. It's got Hera,
Sabine,
Chopper, and Sabine. Like,
I think
and
Sabine's
they're
gonna be
going.
a very, very dominant character in that series. Want to save that for another episode, but
So excited about that show.
me too.
Yeah, our next one can be a what if. Our predictions for Ahsoka.
We actually did really, really well with this show. I went back and I watched our kind of talking about after the trailer came out. We kind of talked about the trailer and we talked about what we wanted to see.
I need to
And,
rewatch that now.
So do I. I know what I'm
Sorry.
doing after this.
Predictions and kind of our expectations. Even though it took about 5 to 6 episodes to get to where we wanted to be, it still kind of hit the mark of what we were looking for.
And if they're going to go with anything from the Skywalker saga or the prequel saga, I want them to either shit or get off the pot when it comes to Mace Windu. Either bring him back or don't. Like, stop this shit with the what if, yada yada. I want a pissed off fucking Samuel L. Jackson with one eye, one fucking hand, just kicking people's asses. Just straight force choking motherfuckers left and right.
Technically, the only person that's kept that fucking rumor alive is Samuel L. Jackson himself, just by saying that he wants his own solo series. Because he went to Dallas Howard about that one.
Yeah, but there's been a couple interviews here and there with other people in Star Wars, and they never say yes or no to it. They just kind of avoid it, leaving it ambiguously floating around.
Well, nobody really knows, I guess. So, I mean, yes,
Yeah.
I guess, go with your point. Okay, can you confirm that he is either dead or alive? So yeah.
Yeah, like I just want somebody from Lucas Films or Disney Star Wars to be like, no, we're not going to do it. He's fucking dead.
He's fucking dead.
I'm waiting for Doctor Strange and America Chavez to rip through a portal and tell us that 7, 8, and 9 were like an alternate universe and those didn't actually happen. So
they could.
That was another timeline. 7, 8, 9 were a different timeline. We're Disney now. We can do stuff like that.
I want that Patton Oswalt rant that he had on Parks and Rec, the filibuster. Now Disney owns all the properties he was talking about. I think that'd be hilarious.
He's the same guy that was it on Parks and Rec where he talks about like the opening scene for Book
yeah,
of
that's what I'm talking.
They actually turned it into the actual show.
That's what I'm talking about. Like he goes, yeah, because he's talking about the Marvel, and then he starts talking about fucking Thanos and Han Solo and Chewie.
I've never watched Parks and Rec. I've watched like a couple episodes.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's good.
That scene, it's amazing. He's filibustering some stupid law or thing they're trying to pass, and he starts talking about fucking Star Wars, and like they've taken multiple ideas from his rant and they've done it in the MCU and both Star Wars universe.
Parks and Rec is canon, confirmed.
Yeah, it's in our timeline. It's Earth 616.
Oh yeah.
Well,
so, what was everybody's favorite scene? The whole series. What was it? The
whole series.
Yep, the whole series.
Fuck.
Mine was probably Leia doing like the parkour, running from the bad guys, and she was able to like parkour through the trees, and like she's 10 years old, but she's faster than grown men. She's more agile than grown men. That part I really liked. The part when I'm trying to watch the Vader and Kenobi fight, and we keep cutting back to Reva, and we're showing her. I really enjoyed that.
I think Dallas misunderstood the questions.
He's getting there. Okay.
Gosh, favorite part.
I mean, I don't want to state the obvious. Like
I know that's what I'm trying to think of something that's not the obvious.
Fucking say it. I'll say it with you.
I mean, I don't know. You know what? It might be episode 2 for me. Anakin's alive. When Reva said that, and Kenobi just lost his fucking shit.
Okay.
Same
That's a
emotion,
good one.
Yeah. That emotion you see on his face.
There was a lot of emotion there. For not saying a word, there was still acting.
Okay.
I really liked that scene. I don't necessarily like that she delivered it, but whatever. Here we are.
I don't know. Jericho was like recording me when I was watching the 6th episode because there'd be parts where I get like way hyped and I was like yelling at the TV like yes, yes, yes. She's recording me doing that.
Tell her to send us those.
I hope she didn't save it. God. The last episode where you see him flashback for the first time, that was beautiful. That one's hard to not think about and get over. Real quick, can I ask you guys a question? Why on all the other shows we're getting are they using CGI to DH people, but this show they did not use CGI once? Do you think that was different?
Everybody bitched about Luke.
I'm not bitching. I don't have any. I know,
but I'm just saying what the kind of my general overview of the fan base was bitching about Luke being DH in the last one, and then I'm basically damned if they do, damned if they don't.
I'm fine with it. They didn't DH a single person. Ian McDermott, they didn't. Qui-Gon, they didn't DH any of them.
I was cool with how they all looked. Like even Anakin as a 45-year-old Padawan, I was cool with that. Like, It didn't take anything away. I think it distracted less than if like Rogue One when they had Grand Moff Tarkin. Like he looked scary. Like it looked terrible.
That dude's dead. So what else can you do? They had
obviously
what they had.
They had to roll with what they had, but that just I don't know. It set me. It was uneasy for me. I don't know. Uneasy. Yeah, I didn't like it. I thought Leia was okay when they de-aged Princess Leia in the same movie. That was all right. But Tarkin is just creepy.
Back to your question. It's got to be I just can't stop thinking about that scene when he says, "You didn't kill Anakin, I did," and when like his like whole lip, like he gets that evil look on his face. Like I think about that scene so much because like it's like he showed the light side by freeing him, and then he instantly flipped the. It's like he's so consumed by the light and dark still. Like he's not. I don't think he's fully on the dark side, and it just.
I don't think he ever was.
Palpatine questioned that too when the little bit of dialogue we got out of Palpatine in this one was, questioning where his head's at.
Well, Vader even called Kenobi Master still.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, but
that's true.
I think it was kind of like that's that flashback that we had with them. Was episode 4 the flashback 5? Okay, yeah. So in 5, where he failed his master's exam type thing, and
whose flashback was that? Do we know yet? Was that
we talked about it in the last one? We kind of thought it was a bit of both.
Seems like they both had it at the same time.
It did, yeah. Okay, all right. I just housekeeping.
But yeah, that was kind of the vibe I got.
I love you.
For me, mine was the Anakin Vader voice, like split voice going back and forth, and then when he's yelling when Kenobi walks away,
Obi-Wan, yeah,
and then his like voice box cuts out, and then you hear Hayden Christensen yell, and the voice box kind of cuts in and out again. Perfect.
It was kind of like Maul yells Kenobi.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he was going to actually say Kenobi, but I digress. It makes more sense to be Obi-Wan because he always called him Obi-Wan or Master. He never called him Kenobi. Sometimes Master Kenobi. And then also the hello there. That was
finally got it.
That was.
Bro, I thought we were going to end without seeing Qui-Gon, and then as soon as I saw the littlest sliver of something see-through, I started freaking screaming at the TV. I was so.
I bet you cream pied, bud.
Hell yeah,
dude! I was so excited. Jericho was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "You just don't get it, okay?"
You were sitting there going, Robert.
No, I wasn't thinking about Robert. I'll tell you that. Robert was the last person I'd be thinking about right there.
Can you imagine Robert dressed up as Qui-Gon Jinn for Halloween?
Oh my god, dude! You should see
long hair.
I've met Robert in person. That dude wears like huge, long, black, baggy pants. Like I imagine Qui-Gon wearing pants like Robert wears.
He still wears like the trip pants from the early 2000s.
Straight edge Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's what's gonna happen when Robert dies.
Just talking about cream pies.
I hope so.
Turn around, I'll be like, Robert, didn't ever think to see you again.
You have much to learn.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm gonna send him this afterwards.
You're gonna be like taking a hit one day, and he's gonna pop up and be like, "That's not the way."
What's he gonna say?
Nothing.
I don't know.
The episode was perfect.
It was good, man. I think we're gonna get a second season, and I think it's deserved now.
Season. I don't want it.
I don't think we need it.
I want Reva's standalone series, and I want it to be 24 episodes long.
Who wants that?
I do.
Why?
I don't know. Backstory.
We don't need. We got her backstory. She was a Padawan that got killed but didn't die.
Twice. It's like a cockroach. She can't die.
I don't think you can say that.
The Grand Inquisitor, the way he talked in this show, it just kills me.
That actor's gonna be at C2E2 this year, buddy.
I just seen that announced today.
Can you get his autograph?
It doesn't even look like him. Like that's so.
Well, yeah, because his head's not shaped that way.
Well, obviously, but I was like staring at like the headshot that they posted on the C2E2 page, and I'm like, God, that's him.
It is weird.
Bravo, hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Have you seen all the memes of like on TikTok where it's like the Grand Inquisitor who walks up and he's like, "Hello."
No.
Oh my god, they're so funny. It's like when my dog hears me open the chip bag and you see him walk up and he's like, "Hello." That's hilarious. I'll have to find something to send them to you.
I did a pretty good job about staying off the internet this week.
Yeah, when did you finally get to watch it?
I did watch it Wednesday night.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
Did you watch part of it at work?
Yes.
Did you get any notes or anything from Ty about his taking of it?
He said he hated it and he never wants to do this show with us again.
Miss you too, CJ.
Somehow I believe that.
See you in August.
I think he was bummed he couldn't be here today.
Oh yeah. You know he is. But then he's also probably sitting in a chair staring out over the lake.
Yeah, he's probably fishing.
Unreal.
Having a good time.
I can't believe we actually filled an entire hour talking about this show. Usually we only talk for like 20 minutes.
I could go for another hour talking about part 6.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, God, so
I'm gonna go watch it again.
I'm gonna watch our prediction video and then I'm probably gonna watch it again.
Thanks, homie. It was a Father's Day gift from Hunter. Shout out, Hunter.
We know you're listening.
I think so. Hopefully. No, she's gonna come out here and smack me. I've been waiting for her to face pop out around the corner right here or something.
Hunter, if you are watching, please do that real quick.
She might probably
Just put a mask on so no one will see your face. But just
sneak a middle finger in.
do it.
I kind of feel like last thing I have on the show. I feel like Palpatine knew that Vader was never going to fully commit and never fully going to commit to the dark side. And that's why he was always looking for another apprentice.
That's why he was going to try to turn Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess looking back now, yeah. Oh, here's a good question. With Phantom Menace, I know it's off topic a little bit. We had obviously Sidious was still Sidious, and he had Dooku was his Padawan or whatever, his apprentice.
I don't think they technically ever considered Dooku his apprentice.
But Maul was Dooku's apprentice. Am I right or wrong there?
I don't think
Because
so.
it's always then was Maul Sidious's?
Sidious's.
So what the fuck was Dooku?
Dooku was like that public figure that they used to lead the Separatists, essentially. Because if you read the books, the Jedi don't even realize that Dooku's turn. They don't find out that Dooku is essentially working with him until the battle in Geonosis. They don't know that until right up to that point.
Yeah, but Dooku was the Jedi Knight or the Jedi Master, and wasn't Qui-Gon his apprentice?
Yes.
And then he left, or he got exiled or banished, correct? From the Jedi Order, and then they just assumed
he left
just
on his own.
No, he got banished. He got exiled. For whatever he did, he was trying to learn something. He was trying to do something. And then when again it's
Kama Sutra.
yeah. No, they can slap cheeks. They just,
Can't
attachments. Yeah. They can clap asses all night long. Just nothing else.
I actually think George Lucas has came out and said that. Not in Remy's exact words, but basically along those lines that
he did. He said that they're not celibate. The only thing they can't do is form possessive attachments.
Oh, we know that because what's the guy with the tall head, the cone head? What's his name?
I don't know. He's worried about fucking Wookiees.
Kai Bundy or whatever.
Yeah,
Al Bundy.
So a fun story about him. He actually had like a bajillion wives, and he used the excuse that he was trying to repopulate his race as to why he had so many wives. He was kind of a scumbag.
It's the end of the show. This is
This
where we freestyle at the end here.
Remy's gonna rap in about 3 minutes, so get ready. He's been working on it all week. Red leather, let's go.
It'll just be
Hell yeah.
But yeah, overall, I guess, Dallas, overall season grade. Since Scully, I know you want to ask it.
What's mine?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can tell you what it was before.
What was it before?
I would say it's like a 6.5 before episode 5. Maybe
Okay.
maybe even lower than that. Maybe like a 5.8 before episode 5. 5 brought it up to like a good almost 7. And this final episode brought it almost to an 8. There was a lot of bad to me still, and I'm not gonna ever deny that. There was a lot of bad. A whole lot of bad. But God, it was so beautiful. I mean, literally it's the best live action Star Wars, the best 5 minutes. If you just take out all the Reva stuff, it was really the best 5-10 minutes of any live action Star Wars that I have seen since episode 3. Episode 3, I just, I'll rewatch this as many times as I rewatch episode 3, excuse me.
All right, Scully.
I'm at like a 9. I'm at a 9.
Where were you at before episode 5?
Before episode 5, maybe like a 7.2, 7.4. It was enjoyable. It was a lot more entertaining than the down episodes in the Bad Batch. When you got
there was some
season of Bad Batch,
Yeah,
I had to power through that.
there were some bad episodes.
I just kept reminding myself that it's Kenobi. It's only 6 episodes long, trying to enjoy it, but I'm not going to try and justify some of the shitty things that happened
Mm-hmm.
in the TV series. I think some people should be held accountable for their writing and whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Ended up at a 9 in my book. Was happy.
Pretty good.
You got me to cry twice. So
Remy, what
good
about
job,
you, buddy?
Brittany.
Before, I'm gonna say I was like at a 6.9 to a 7. I really did enjoy it. And after like an 8.7, not quite a 9, which would be like Mando season 1 for me.
Oh yeah.
Hell, even Mando season 2. But yeah, not quite. I don't think it's quite Mando, but yeah, definitely up there, top 3 for live action Star Wars shows. Which, granted, there's only 4 so far, but
next on the agenda is Andor.
I'm going into that fairly blind. I want to go into it blind. I did see the original or the official trailer, and obviously I know about Andor from Rogue One, and I'm glad it's going to have Mon Mothra in it. Is it supposed to have Saw Gerrera?
I'm sure he's going to be in it. He's fucking everywhere.
Do you think it'll be Forrest Whitaker, or they're going to cast somebody else? I think he might be too old, but they can do makeup.
As long as they have that blob of an alien that has sex with you and reads your mind in it again, I can't wait.
God. Hell yeah.
Sounds like something I would say.
That was a joke, but yes.
That's the bit I'm going to use for TikTok this week. So thank you for that one.
Don't put any references or anything. Just cut out the clip part before that too.
Will do. Nope, Andor should be good. Bad Batch. I still have no clue when Bad Batch is coming out.
Is that end of it was like end of the summer, wasn't it?
Andor is August 29th.
Oh, okay.
Then
Bad Batch is probably November.
Something
October,
has to be
November?
around Christmas time because Mando got pushed back to February.
Yeah, Mando's February. Ahsoka's not until like summer of 23, I think.
No, regardless, we'll talk about it.
Yep. It's a good one, gentlemen.
It was a good show. I'm glad we
I miss you, Ty.
schedule. Yeah, Tyrell, if you're actually watching us out on the lake right now, wish you could have did this one with us. I have nothing. Oh, I guess I have this.
Oh hell yeah! Needed to see that today.
Well, everybody, I guess, whoever watched with us tonight, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here.
DJ, Matt, Hunter, appreciate you guys in the chat. Dallas's dad. Hope we lived up
always.
to your expectations for
Shout out to
Spotify
Papa
radio
Ozark.
show. We'll be sure to get this on there for you, so you have about 6 hours worth of content to hold you over till probably next year.
Yeah, we're taking a time off podcast.
Got to take a year off.
We're gonna come back and we're gonna rank every Star Wars droid. We're gonna have a tier list: S tier, A tier, B tier. So be ready. Every droid ever.
I'm game.
Yeah, actually, I kind of dig that.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Oh, I've been thinking of some ideas for the podcast, boys. That's one of them.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, everyone, I guess till next time. Appreciate it. Thank you for not fucking up Kenobi, Disney.
Almost.
Yeah. You almost did, though, yeah. I'm with you now.